Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into, well, a really powerful discussion today. It's about how reality actually gets created. And it starts with this pretty big idea that the universe, or, the powers that be, are actively working to fulfill every specific desire that life has helped you define.
That's the core premise. Yeah, the desire itself, it's known, it's cataloged, and it's responded to like instantly. Now, people often want that quick fix,
Right.
the direct path to getting what they want.
Right, the shortcut.
Exactly. But everything points to the speed being, well, entirely dependent on just one thing. And that's the vibration you're currently offering right now.
Okay, so life experience, what some call contrast, it causes these new preferences to be born all the time, these rockets of desire. And this non-physical energy, this source or inner being, it already knows who you've become vibrationally. It knows exactly what you're asking for, and crucially, where you stand relative to it.
And it's important to get this non-physical support system. It isn't waiting for you to get your ducks in a row or figure things out. It's already aware. It's completely benevolent, unconditionally loving. It knows that once life helps you identify that desire, boom, the pathway to it is immediately created.
Which leads to the big question, right? If the answer is known instantly and the path is created instantly, why does it feel like we spend so much time, stumbling around in the dark?
Well, that's because we tend to confuse the physical interpretation of reality with the actual mechanics of creation underneath it all.
Okay, let's get into that mechanism, because this is where it gets really interesting. We think of reality as solid, this table, this microphone, the sound of my voice. But the idea here is that everything, before it shows up physically, is just vibration.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is that the reality you perceive, everything you see, hear, touch, it's simply a realization of vibration.
Yeah.
Your physical senses, they're just interpreters. They're interpreting that underlying energetic frequency.
So seeing, hearing, smelling, it's all decoding vibration.
Precisely. Think about maybe your brain's reticular activating system, the RAS. If you decide you want a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere, right?
Yeah, happens all the time.
They were always there. But your focus, your intention, which is a kind of vibration, it turned on the filter. It allowed you to perceive that specific frequency.
That makes sense for interpretation. But there's also this idea of a split in consciousness, that when we came into this physical body, only part of our consciousness focused here.
Yes, that's a crucial point. The larger part of you remains non-physically focused. It's described as being in a stable, non-resistant place.
Stable and non-resistant.
And that larger part, your inner being, let's call it, it's always aligned with the desire you just launched. It's perpetually successful, vibrationally speaking. It already holds the feeling of that desire fulfilled. Understanding this is vital.
Why vital?
Because it means the path, the way forward, is always being projected from that place of perfect clarity. Always.
So the roadmap isn't something we have to wait for. It's not like the universe needs time to draw it up. It's being broadcast constantly, clearly, right now. This steady, unfolding, adventurous, fulfilling path.
Absolutely. The path is always projected, always available. But that brings us right to the variable, the part we control.
Okay, the path is projected. But the critical question becomes, are you actually in the receptive mode? Because if the path is clear and we're missing the signs, the variable has to be our reception, right? Our ability to tune in.
Exactly. That's it. And receptivity isn't fixed. It varies, not just between people, but within you, day to day, even moment to moment. But the good news is you have a very clear signal for this, something you can check constantly.
And that signal is my mood, how I'm feeling.
Bingo. Your mood. It's the single best indicator of whether you're in receptive mode or not. If you feel discouraged, bummed out, depressed, anxious, or especially if you feel like a victim, blaming others, that vibration, that feeling state is actively preventing that clear path from lighting up for you. You just can't see it from there.
And that lack of clarity, feeling stuck, that's what's meant by split energy.
That's the signature of it, yes.
Okay, split energy comes up a lot. Can you break down what that feels like or what's happening vibrationally? Is it just emotional friction?
It's described as the worst kind of emotional friction. Think of it like a high-powered collision inside you. You're wanting something backed by the power of your core source energy.
Right.
But at the same time, you're using your physical focus to doubt it or resent that you don't have it or fear it won't happen. Wanting pulls energy toward it. Doubting pushes energy away, that intense push-pull. It's fundamentally uncomfortable.
Okay. It's like being tuned between stations, just getting static instead of the clear music your inner being is broadcasting.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And this leads us right into the most common logical trap people fall into, the one that blocks receptivity.
Let me guess. The logical mind kicks in.
Always does.
Like, hang on. I want X. I don't have X. Isn't it just logical, even necessary, that I'm aware I don't have it?
Exactly that thought process. And the answer given is, well, it's profound. It's basically, yes, that's logical. And that very awareness of not having it is precisely what keeps you from getting it.
Wow. Okay. That's counterintuitive.
It really is, isn't it? Focusing on what's missing keeps the absence active in your vibration. It creates this pull-push thing, as it's sometimes called. You ask for it, the pull. Then you focus on the lack of it, the push. You're preventing yourself from seeing the very thing you asked for.
So what's the fix? How do you get out of that loop?
The fastest way suggested is simply to stop beating the drum of not having it. Just stop.
Stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it.
Stop giving it your primary focus, yeah. It's not about pretending or lying to yourself. It's about actively choosing to withdraw your attention from the lack. Stop pointing out what's missing all the time, because that focus keeps the vibration of missing active.
Okay. But what about external things? What if other people or situations are genuinely causing problems?
Ah, yes, the responsibility question. The material is clear. You have to accept that you are completely responsible for your own receptivity, your own vibrational state. It acknowledges, sure, other people might do, let's say, a lot of really dumb things. Unwanted conditions happen.
Right, they do.
But, and this is the hard part sometimes, paying attention to those unwanted conditions or focusing on the people causing them, it holds you in a resistant state. It keeps you out of receptive mode. And if you're out of receptive mode, it doesn't matter how many clues the universe sends.
So even if you're justified in being upset about something external, focusing on it blocks your own good from coming.
That's the mechanism described. You lock yourself out of the flow. No hint, no chance encounter, no inspired idea will register if your frequency is tuned to resistance.
It's a paradox then. The more you focus on what's wrong, even if it's objectively wrong, the less you can see what's right or the path forward.
That sums it up really well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if we can't focus on the lack, or we shouldn't pretend things are different than they are, what do? How do we shift?
The key is finding the feeling place of what you want. You need to find some way, anyway, to genuinely conjure up that feeling now, even a little bit, even before the thing itself arrives.
Find the feeling.
Okay.
How?
Well, what's interesting here is the advice against deep introspection about what's wrong. The idea isn't to dig into yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong.
Which is what we often try to do.
Right. But that just practices the wrong frequency longer, focusing on self-critique. Instead, the goal is simpler. Tune the dial. Find anything that feels genuinely good to focus on, however small or unrelated it seems. A pet, a nice memory, something beautiful, anything to start tuning yourself back to the frequency of well-being, which is said to be your core nature.
So it's about finding any good feeling to start shifting the vibration. Which brings us to momentum, I think.
Yes, momentum is huge. We live in a vibrational universe managed by this powerful law of attraction. And because of whatever you've been focusing on, thinking about, feeling, there's already a momentum underway, positive or negative.
And you can't just stop momentum on a dime, right? Like trying to stop a freight train instantly.
Exactly. You hit a brick wall, vibrationally speaking. If you've been deeply focused on debt for months, you can't just wake up feeling abundant and expect instant results.
Yeah.
The momentum of debt is strong.
But, and this is really encouraging, it is possible to start building new momentum in the direction you want, even while the old, unwanted momentum is still playing out.
Okay, how do you do that practically? If I'm feeling really down, I can't just leap to feeling ecstatic. That feels impossible.
You don't have to. That's the beauty of it. You just need to taper off the negative and introduce the positive gradually. You don't jump from focusing on the biggest problem to suddenly expecting the perfect solution. You just look for a thought that feels slightly less bad.
Just less bad.
Or even neutral. Find neutral ground first. If you're at an emotional 0, the goal isn't 10, it's maybe just 1. If you can distract yourself for just 5 minutes thinking about a pleasant walk you took or a good cup of coffee.
That's 5 minutes where the negative momentum stalled. And in that space, a tiny bit of positive momentum starts. You begin to gently turn the ship.
But to keep that ship turning, you can't be what's called a sloppy thinker, just randomly observing whatever's in front of you.
Exactly. If you just react to what is good, bad, and comment on it all day, your vibration is all over the place. It's confusing, contradictory. You send mixed signals. You'll never find that smooth path of least resistance if you're constantly swirling in that kind of vibrational chaos.
Which seems to lead into this major point about not getting stuck observing current reality.
Yes, the observational trap is a big one.
Most of us have been convinced that what is the current measurable physical facts is what matters most. Look at the facts, but the material is really blunt about this. It says, what is old news.
It's history. It's simply the physical manifestation of your past thoughts and feelings, your past momentum. So when you keep your focus firmly planted on what is, talking about it, complaining about it, analyzing it, blogging about it,
Right, dwelling on the current bank balance, the current problem.
you're just holding yourself in that existing pattern. You're perpetuating the old news vibrationally. And that prevents the new news, the thing you prefer, from having space to show up or be seen.
Okay, but hold on. What about practical stuff? Like, a bill is due now. Doesn't reality demand attention sometimes?
That's a fair question. The immediate obligation, like paying the bill, is acknowledged. Yes, you deal with it. But the focus is the key. The energy around the bill being due is the result of past momentum. If, while handling the bill, your dominant focus is shifting towards solutions, appreciating money you do have, feeling for the idea of cash flow, imagining ease, you're setting a new momentum.
So, handle the old news practically, but put your creative focus on the new news you want.
Exactly. The mistake is confusing the action of dealing with what is with the vibrational stance of creating what's next. Don't let observing the old news dictate your feeling state about the future.
It sounds like maybe, without realizing it, we end up looking for trouble, focusing on problems instead of expecting solutions. The material calls this amplifying questions rather than expecting answers.
That's a powerful way to put it. And if your dominant vibration is one of looking for problems or braced for things to go wrong, well, that's why the obvious signs, the clues on the path, just aren't seen. Your focus filters them out.
So the core difference is observing reality versus creating reality.
That's the invitation, yes.
Yeah.
You didn't come just to be an observer reacting to things. You came to be a deliberate creator. If you observe something good and appreciate it, more good comes. If you observe something not good and dwell on it, more not good comes. Your current state of observation is literally dictating your future creation.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for us day to day?
It means you're fundamentally a focusing mechanism, a powerful one. Your attention directs your energy, your vibration, and you have two immediate ways to tell what's coming down the pipeline for you.
Which are,
One, the way you feel right now. Your emotions are your immediate vibrational feedback. Two, later on, by what actually shows up in your life, what manifests.
so if there's undesirable stuff showing up, the advice is to clean up the focus.
Clean up the focus, which means cleaning up the feeling state. You have to find ways to feel better, even slightly better. More often, that powerful momentum-building vibration of well-being, it's always there, available for you to tap into. It just requires a little deliberate attention and a genuine desire to feel good. Start small. Find one thought that feels just a little bit better. The universe will respond to that shift.
The path is always being revealed. But we might be focused elsewhere, maybe even looking for trouble instead of solutions. So here's something to consider. If what is truly old news, reflecting past momentum, how much of your current stress isn't actually about a present problem, but about you continuing to focus on thoughts, patterns, and momentum that were set in motion days, weeks, or even months ago? What one small good thing that is working well right now could you focus on just for 5 minutes to consciously start shifting that momentum today?